I thought I was going to feel different first, but I'm seeing body changes at a month. Like I did a video showing my body never looked like that before.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. But you know what? I like, breaking my mold, trying new things.
Yeah, it's funny how you were like nervous for this, and you'll like, it's because of the total opposite. You're like totally comfortable with the psychedelics. I'm like terrified of them.
I wouldn't say totally comfortable.
Okay.
Depends on the situation.
I guess you've had situations that made you a bit more apprehensive.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's just funny how we're like totally like foreign to us, the total opposite side of the thing.
I know, but I've jumped onto your side of the...
Yeah.
What do they call it? Your side of the bench, your side
of the pond, whatever.
Pond, yeah. I'm on your side. I don't foresee Derek coming to mine.
No,
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I think I need to get to a point where I know like I want to do it. Rather, I don't know if I'm gonna benefit as much if I'm like negative about the situation. Because you're optimistic about your outcome of this, whereas I'm just, if I go into using psychedelics paranoid and like not optimistic and thinking I have more to lose than to gain, I don't think that is a smart way to go about it.
I think it could be terrifying.
Yeah.
Like you're creating that fear.
Yeah. So again, it's not like I don't believe they could be useful. I just think for me personally, I'm not in the mindset to be like ready for them.
Well, that's good. I think that's healthy to know yourself.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm like glad to see that, we could dissect this kind of underlying issue that you didn't even know you had. And
dude, yeah, obviously I appreciate it. I'm happy that you helped me do this. But my question really is what caused it? What could you speculate? Because I speculated kratom, but what do you think?
Well, it's tough to say because obviously the average testosterone level is decreasing, in this population. You could, obviously the main things you think of are sleep deficiency, diet, stuff like that. And then there's the camp that thinks it's all like phthalates and plastics and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how much you're cooking with plastics. I don't know any of that stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm just speculating as to what could have caused it. But at the end of the day, I can see the physical manifestation in your actual hormone production. And I can tease out all the factors that I think are super relevant. Like, how's your sleep quality? Are you getting 8 hours a night or close to that? Are you getting to bed at a good time?
The tea could affect your sleep though, right?
That too, yeah. So obviously it's a vicious circle.
Because I've noticed, like I was having a lot of difficulty staying asleep.
Yeah.
I could fall asleep, I was exhausted.
Yeah.
Like, so I could fall asleep, no problem, but I'd wake up.
Yeah.
And then it's like a power nap. I'd be up for a little while, and then I'd cycle asleep, awake, and it was really difficult to get like into that deep REM sleep. So I think it was a cycle because one of the things not to go too far ahead, one of the benefits I've noticed, like one of the first things I noticed, it still obviously took like a couple to a few weeks, was my sleep is better.
Yeah.
With testosterone.
Yeah. A lot of people think, if I'm on steroids, then I'm going to be my mood is going to be more volatile. It's going to be harder to sleep. And it's like at super physiological levels, like, sure, that could be the case. But if you're literally clinically deficient, I actually see more anger in guys who are like low T and like inability to be like relaxed and sleep soundly.
I went through some angry phases for sure.
Yeah. Like some of the mood swings of guys who are low T, it's like, you'll just be like super apathetic because you're low T, and then 2 seconds later you're just like super angry for no reason.
Let's talk about that. So you said that so first of all, not everyone, a lot of people have this very negative view on testosterone therapy, and they think that everyone who takes it is just looking for an excuse to jump on gear. And there is this trend, especially recently, and with this uprising of the social media life, where more people want excuses. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who will actually crash their testosterone. Like I'm sure I would bet good money there's a lot just to get a prescription.
Yeah.
And that's like their goal for crashing their testosterone. So like in that world, it's hard to see that there are people who could actually benefit, because most people think you take it and then it's this lifelong thing where, I mean, they're right in that regard, but that there's going to be so many more dangers that outweigh the positives. But that's in an instance where the person didn't have clinically low levels, where they didn't need it. So what are some of the positives that you can see given already low? Like what changes can you see that aren't going to be dangerous?
Not going to be dangerous in that,
like that rectify its use in the sense where you're actually healthier taking it versus not taking it.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, the oxygen carrying capacity, that is like a big thing. Cardiovascular health, you see, greater outcomes of cardiovascular disease in guys with low T. You see diabetes is huge. Guys who are low T are going to have way worse ability to deal with, blood sugar and whatnot because they have.
Dude, I was noticing that.
Yeah,
Like I was really noticing that effect.
Yeah, it's easy to become pre-diabetic when you like strip muscle off your frame every time you go into a deficit, to the point that you're literally losing more muscle than fat because you have such low testosterone production. And then the vicious circle of that is you end up having a very difficult time remaining insulin sensitive. And then through that, you eventually can become, type 2 diabetic.
I was concerned. Like I was looking up symptoms of diabetics, and I was actually getting concerned. Like, oh, is this something that's going to happen to me?
Yeah.
Because I was feeling like at points, like I needed a fucking apple. Like without that apple, I felt like I was just going to be done.
Yeah.
Like that was starting to scare me a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. In some cases, low blood sugar, like your body's inability to regulate blood glucose, could be a sign for sure. And like some people, they even have like reactive hypoglycemia, where their body's like so poor at controlling their blood sugar, they'll eat sugar, and then the amount of insulin they dump out to deal with it drops them back into low blood sugar, and they end up like having to eat sugar just to get back to normal. It's really weird how it works. But yeah, like your body's ability to just maintain homeostasis properly and not end up in a bunch of like pre-disease states or develop like actual like progression to something like type 2 diabetes. Like
so that's going to benefit. So it benefits the oxygen carrying capacity, less chance of diabetes.
Yeah. Cardiovascular health.
What else?
Neurological health, like obviously having adequate estrogen production through your testosterone, like that is what's
estrogen's important.
Yeah, especially for libido too. A lot of people don't realize estrogen is critical for having your dick work. Like I've had sky high test levels and taken aromatase inhibitor to dry out for, back in the day when I used to try and get as lean as possible and like dry out intentionally. I would take like an AI, cut all the water from me basically.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like you literally are asexual. Like you don't give a fuck about anything, and you're like, you literally stop talking to women. You like don't care about anything. Your dick ceases to function other than to urinate.
That was me on a cut though. I felt like that.
Yeah. So estrogen deprivation through low testosterone is going to cause, like, that's literally what significantly contributes to cardiovascular disease and like Alzheimer's and stuff in women.
Alzheimer's
is when they hit menopause and all of a sudden they stop producing these hormones. All of a sudden you see a giant spike in all of these disease outcomes. So for a male, if your estrogen production is contingent upon your testosterone too, it's like so many downstream things you don't even think of. Like, oh, because I have low T, I also have low estrogen, which, is going to lead to like neurotoxicity, cardiotoxicity, and dick not working. Lots of stuff that is functional based on that. And even DHT production too. Like, from a standpoint of like gynecomastia, you could develop like bitch tits just by not having enough androgens to offset the kind of like stimulation of glandular development.
To cause a patchy beard?
In general, like having low androgens versus high, it will make a difference on your body hair and facial hair development. But it's like, I don't see that much of a difference between guys who like deprive themselves of DHT versus not. It will make a bit of a difference, but it's not going to be that significant.
I don't get chest hair. Like, it's like there's like maybe one little patch. Like, I've always got patchy body hair.
Yeah, like there's some like Asian guys, for example, who have like no body hair, and they'll take like all the gear under the sun, and they still don't really get that much.
True.
Yeah. So a lot of that is genetic.
But oddly, I have noticed since going on the testosterone for, what's the date today?
It is July 11th.
I think I'm either just at a month or just a day or so over a month.
Okay.
It could be placebo, but I think my beard's getting thicker. Okay. But I also started applying minoxidil.
Oh,
because I was like, if I'm already on testosterone, which can cause more facial hair, I would love to have a thick beard. So let's take advantage of this. So I've been doing minoxidil once a day, and I honestly think it's getting a little bit thicker.
If you want to double your results, start microneedling too.
I think I saw your video on that.
You only need to do it like once a week.
I don't want to poke holes in my face.
It's like literally a 1 millimeter needle.
You'll have to show me more on this later.
Yeah, and you won't even, it just feels like prickles. It's like a little bit painful, but it's nothing that's you're not like penetrating with a fucking like half-inch needle.
See, I thought you just do it on your head. You can do it on your beard too?
Anywhere you want to like enhance absorption and recruit growth factors that would otherwise stimulate extra.
Do you think my beard growth has to do with the testosterone or the minoxidil though?
More minoxidil than testosterone.
You think so?
Yeah. Minoxidil is like uber potent wherever you put it.
I see.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not go on that train right now. So have we gone through the whole list of benefits? We didn't touch on testosterone being higher having a health consequence.
Well, yeah, like if you go too high, then obviously you could end up with the opposite side of things. You could end up with cardiovascular disease. You could have.
But what does too high constitute?
Well, it depends on the individual again, and that's kind of why you get constant assessment of your health status through at least like somewhat like seasonal blood work.
I
or
wish
like,
we had the next test to do because I haven't got the next. He said in 6 weeks we'll do a follow-up test.
I think it's
So I'm not there
given the
yet.
fact that you're still like reaching steady state concentrations in your blood. I wouldn't be like too concerned about, like, as long as you feel good and you're having symptom relief, you're not ending up with side effects.
Yeah.
You can kind of conclude you're like sort of where you should be.
Some things are improving, not everything.
Yeah, it's not as fast as some people think it's going to be, especially
Yeah.
with a long ester, but like
Why is it so slow?
it's not really. It's just kind of like it's working for sure. It's just not as significant as some people assume it's going to be.
I assumed I was gonna like take it, and then in like a week my lifts were gonna start going up. Like I was thinking, what are the workout benefits?
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like almost a month, 3 weeks or so of taking it until one of my lifts went up.
Yeah, well, like, again, with enanthate, the half-life is like, I don't know, it depends on where you look, but it could be like 5 days, 7 days, depends on who you ask and where you look. But
Yeah.
like achieving steady state concentrations, like you're ramping up right now and your body's like saturating. So it's like, it takes a while for your body to reach a homeostasis where like your SHBG is going to go down a bit. You're going to have more freely circulating androgens. This isn't like an overnight process too. Like even the aromatization of estrogen is not necessarily like instant. Like these things have their own half-lives and their own clearance time. So all the downstream things that lead to like hypertrophy or changes in your brain, stuff like this, it's not like instant necessarily.
I'm seeing the body changes already.
Yeah.
I did not. I thought I was going to feel different first, but I'm seeing body changes at a month. Like I did a video showing my body never looked like that before.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, looking good, dude.
Thank you. I'm just shocked to see any results after a month. I thought it was going to take longer, like at this dose.
No, yeah. It's I think you just should start seeing the manifestation of improvements in all your symptoms like pretty soon here if you are dialed in on your dose, which,
I put the dose higher. Maybe we should talk about that.
sure.
I don't know. Is that relevant? I guess it
Um,
is, because maybe we could ask if this higher dose could be more dangerous. So the doctor prescribed me 120, and his exact words were, "We'll start at 120," and then he said to me, "I have some guys who take 200 a week. We'll see how you are," but being impatient.
Keep in mind, this isn't my clinic, so it's not like I'm saying to do this, nor is my doctor saying to do this. This is in the
No,
context
This
of...
is the doctor I saw.
Yeah.
Well, I saw two doctors. I decided to follow up with one of them. I actually have two prescriptions to testosterone. One gave me a script for cypionate. Am I saying that right?
Cypionate, yeah.
Cypionate. That's better. And then the other one gave me a prescription for enanthate, and he was much more knowledgeable, so I went with him. Anyway, so he got me on 120 milligrams a week to start. But again, because I'm impatient, I was like, let's just double it. So I've been taking 240.
Yeah. So yeah, that might, yeah, obviously there are risks to that. And like the amount you're introducing to your system at once, like it's like everyone, I think most people know by now, depending on, who's watching, I guess maybe if you're new to it, you might not know, but more is not always better, especially when it comes to symptom relief.
But that's still low. 240 is still low.
No, it's not at all, dude.
It's not?
240 is like borderline cycle territory. Like your total T is going to be like, I don't know, it could be like 2,000 plus.
But I've seen guys on TRT who are taking like 500 a week.
Yeah, but that's not TRT. That's a cycle.
They claim it's TRT.
Yeah, well-
you reviewed one of them, that YouTube guy. Beast something? How to Beast?
Oh, How to Beast?
Is that him?
He wasn't on 500. He's on like a reasonable dose. He used to be on more, but it was not 500 still.
There's a video where he was on 500.
Maybe he cycled 500 at one point, but there's no way he was ever dumb enough to say his TRT was 500 milligrams.
Go look at it.
Okay, what's the
He has
video?
a video. He's on TRT of 500 milligrams a week.
Beast 500 megs.